Don't be afraid to use virtual home staging so that the pictures that you're posting aren't just showing a wide open vacant house. It's easy to read into that if that's the type of pictures that you're putting out there. So it's going to make the home look more lived in during your real estate photos. Again, big red flag. You do not want to encourage intruders to break into homes. That it is still a very real thing that we have a housing and a homeless crisis out there. And sometimes, based on their situation, people get desperate. And if they can get any type of access to internet or any type of for sale signs out in front yards, it only takes them a couple of minutes to peek into windows and see whether or not people are ever there. So please be smart and make sure that you're showing house traffic whenever you're going to be in and out of the home. Familiarizing yourself with the property and the neighborhood is also going to help. Thorough research of any property that you're going to represent is critical for your sales and critical for you to understand the surroundings and the safety that you're in while you're there too. Nearby establishments, amenities, in and out exits of the house. These are all smart things to know whenever you're going to be in the home. You want to make sure that you're taking note of potential hazards like steep terrains or stairs moving into one room or the other, step down flooring. Ensure that exits like backsliding doors are functional and they can be unlocked easily and stay unlocked during your showings. Look for security features that are installed in the home too. Alarm systems typically have a panic button or deadbolts that can be used if you need to lock someone out of the house. Security cameras that are open and active and connected to an internet circuit. Although these can be kind of quirky when you're showing the house around because you don't want people to feel like they're being intruded or watched during a showing, for the safety precaution, certainly well worth it. You want to be able to effectively, essentially show the home and ensure safety for yourself and a successful experience to people that are coming in and looking at the home with you. If you arrive at the home before the showing and it puts you in a position to identify all these areas where you can remove yourself from the home in case of an emergency, it's going to allow you to also open that sense of security up to people when you're showing the house too. Go inside, locking doors, unlocking doors. Make sure the house is locked up when you're there by yourself and you're just familiarizing yourself with the home. It is okay that during an open house, people are forced to knock on the door to let themselves in, and make it okay for you to set yourself up at the little table where people walk in and hopefully you collect their information. Put a security and a safety camera there so that it's taking the pictures of people coming in and out of the home. This may be a critical safety tip in case something goes sideways. Limiting your personal information. Good luck with this one. This one's tough as a real estate agent, as most of our information is public anyway, so that people can get a hold of us easier. You want to exercise caution anytime that you're sharing your personal info. I realize this is really tough, but when you're in the discussions, not disclosing details about your personal life, your schedule, this will minimize the risks of personal attacks. Some steps that you can take to help protect yourself for real estate transactions, for example, make sure you're using a professional email address, an office or Google Voice number instead of a personal account. Adjust your privacy settings on social media to control the visibility of your personal information, not necessarily listings and things that you were doing as far as a showing. When you're creating listings or profiles on real estate websites, provide just the necessary contact information for you. And again, you should have a brokerage phone number that they can transfer people through. So that being the only number you share should make it very comfortable for you. Avoid sharing your home address, your personal photos, and the like. Use pseudonyms rather than initials, rather than full names for online platforms or directories where the public can access personal information. You want to be able to do so in a way that is going to reduce the risk for yourself and for identity theft. Real estate agents who publicly share personal information online will become targets of harassment, stalking, real estate scams, unwanted solicitations. Exposing those types of personal details is going to increase the risk of identity theft for you, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Agent, privacy breaches, or even fraud. So you just want to be super careful. When you're in the home and when you're doing these showings, you also want to be smart not to wear expensive jewelry. Don't draw attention to yourself. For those of you that drive a fancy car, you want to be careful about parking it right there in the driveway so that it's easily seen. You want to, instead of wearing flashy jewelry, opt for some accessories, and maybe some accessories with built-in safety features. Some of these smartwatches from Samsung or Fitbit or Apple allow you to send messages to your emergency contact and even track your GPS location. So dress professionally and modestly, but be able to minimize the risk of becoming a target for a robbery or an assault. It's unfortunately a real valid concern in all industry, but especially in the public-facing and privately public-facing industries like ours. Flashy jewelry itself can attract thieves' attention. It can make agents more susceptible to assault or, much worse, violent crimes. Agents need to avoid wearing extravagance when they're working in unfamiliar places. They should definitely wear comfortable shoes and clothing, especially if they unfortunately need to make a quick getaway. When parking your car, I want to circle back to that a little bit. Make sure that you're parking it in a well-lit area and that it's easy for you to get to without a lot of trouble. I know in practice we say don't park in the driveway because clients need to be able to conveniently park, and it gives them a sense of home whenever they can pull into the driveway themselves and feel like, hey, step one, I've parked in potentially my new driveway. Perfectly okay for you to park right in front of the house or right on the side of the house. Make sure that it is well lit, good visibility. And if you're going to park in front of one of the other homes, knock on the door, introduce yourself with a business card, and let them know whose car that is and why you're there. And you appreciate them being mindful of your safety as well. Always put your car in a position where people cannot block you in. One more reason for you not to park in the driveway is because it would be very easy for someone to put you in an unsafe situation where you can't get your car out. So hopefully by you doing that, isolating yourself, putting yourself in a position to where you've got all of the additional support, and then of course the access to your phone is going to help you be able to report anything that looks weird. And yeah, if it feels funny, it's probably funny. So pick up your phone, get on a phone call, and just leave it on the counter so that people can hear the interaction. Should make you feel perfectly safe and put you in a situation where you've got some additional confidence. And it's okay to you announce it to people. It's as simple as going, hey, Jim, I'm just going to put you on the counter for a bit. I've got a client that's just walked in. I want to give them the attention that they deserve. And then you just lay it down on the counter. Don't hang up the phone and tell the client, hey, so sorry, I was talking to another customer. Let me walk with you, right? Identification. You want to absolutely ask if things are looking shaky. People have a valid photo ID when they're coming into an open house. If they have an ID that they are pulling out so they can give you some personal information or things like that, this is great. It makes it a point to require valid identification when they have open house and showings, and you should feel confident putting a sign out front say, this open house requires valid ID. It's okay to let people know that you are insistent about them identifying themselves before they walk into the home that you're requesting. And with everything going on in our industry, it may be a smarter situation and make it an easier conversation for you too, for people to need to put their name and information down on a list before they're securely walking in and out of a property. Requesting that valid ID from somebody is not only going to help you confirm that they have an identity, potential clients, it'll also obstruct people with malicious intent because typically that's not somebody that's going to carry an ID around. On the other hand, if you don't want to be inconvenient to clients, there are some alternatives to requiring valid ID during a property showing or open house. You can ask attendees to pre-register for the open house or showing. Pre-registration will allow you to gather at least a little bit of basic information and screen some potential participants beforehand. You can use an open house sign-in sheet so that it captures their information from their phone. A bonus is that it'll add, if that adds them to your CRM directly, it'll certainly help you from a sales perspective. But again, most importantly, we're focusing on your safety today. Hosting appointment-only showings is still the best way to do it. It helps you legitimize the client. You can absolutely require that they send you a copy of their photo ID and that they bring, and you can tell them, please bring your photo ID with you so that we can ID match when you arrive. This is for your safety as well as mine. I will also be presenting my identification to you. Yeah. Hosting appointment-only showings will also help you control the amount of people that are in the house at any given time. By doing this, agents, you can ensure that not only legitimate clients are there, but legitimate clients that are getting your full attention so that you're not distracted by a lot of people in the home. Offering a virtual tour of the property instead of an in-person showing can certainly be an alternative if you're not feeling so secure. Virtual tour will eliminate that need for the physical attendance and it'll minimize security risks. If they are dead set on seeing the house so that they can put in an offer, you can also suggest that you put in an offer of security, but at that point, you need to have a very secure relationship built in with the client before you push to that. Some agents allow guests to roam the house freely during open houses. While you want to give them some freedom, showing the house is better. Should there be a theft while they're in the property, it may be challenging to identify who it was if you're not with them. And you should be with them. Part of your sales strategy is you're presenting the house, walking them through, giving them the high level benefits of the things that will allow them to start having a conversation with you. And again, more conversation they're having with you about the property and not about you personally shows a sense of sales etiquette, and it's going to keep you from feeling uncomfortable that they're being intrusive. Traditionally, you want to have the clients walking in front of you.